what was the first prison? Reception. What was that?
So I went to a transfer unit and stayed at the same unit the whole time. So if you have a sentence of like 2 years and under, um, the way I understand it, you can do all your time right there at that unit.
Hmm.
If you have more than 2 years, you'll transfer out to a different unit. So this particular one, and I think all the women that go to Texas prisons go through this particular. It's called plain unit or plain state jail. They call it a plain state jail. We have state jail. I don't know how other states do it. But we have state jail and TDCJ, and I don't know what the difference is, other than, well, state time is not like a matter of months, 18 months, 22 months, and under. So half on one side was state jail timers, and the other half was TDC, which are either 2 years and under. It's all sentences. You can have 40 years and be on that side, but you're going to move. You're going to pull chain and go to another unit. But everyone starts there. They do all your diagnostics, medical, send you on medical chaining, bring you back, and all that stuff. And I guess they kind of weed out the short timers there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they don't have to
Yeah.
deal with them at the long-term units. So to me, it seemed like kind of a weird mix of county jail and real, big boy units,
Yeah, it's like a
because
little bus station full of
it's weird in the middle, but I feel like it had all the elements of, I mean, it was prison.
dorms or cells.
We had dorms.
Dorms,
Uh,
bunk beds, 2 bunk, 3 bunk.
yeah, it's weird. The dorm has 4 pods of 50 each, 48 or 50 people, and it's four bunks, 2 sets of bunks, so 4 people in a bunk area. It's not a cell because there's no front wall. It's
Yeah.
like 2 cinder block walls that go all the way up, not to the ceiling, but about 4 foot over the top bunk. So if you have a top bunk and you're over the wall bunk, he has a top bunk. Y'all can talk to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
look
I've been
over
in a
into
cell
there.
just like that.
So
Exactly.
you've
Yeah.
got 3 walls, but you don't have that front wall.
Yeah.
So, but it's a big area. It's a lot of women, and it's nuts. It was completely nuts. But I mean,
I
every
mean,
day I was like, is this really happening right now?
yeah. I
Just,
mean, some people come into prison. They get it. They get. Let's face it. There's some people there and they're sharks. They like to try to attack people, maybe sexually. Try to bait them in or whatever. And I know women's side of things gets crazy. I
yep,
do know. Uh, just like the men's too. Was there
yep.
any kind of tricks or tomfoolery going on when you first went in? Was someone trying to look out for you for the wrong reasons? Was someone trying to hate on you for the wrong reasons? Steal from you?
Um,
Anything like that?
I mean, I got some attention.
Oh
um,
God!
Nothing that made me too uncomfortable. I mean, I had to shut some things down a couple times. Uh,
And this is right when you came through, huh? Right off the
yeah,
break. This wasn't like 2 months in or anything like that.
no. Um, it was, I mean, it was pretty much from the jump. But no, I
The
mean,
way
I
you're
don't remember,
smiling, I can only imagine what the hell
dude,
this person did.
because I don't even know where to start. Like
I would.
there was a few, and I guess the one that made me a little bit uncomfortable was just because we were like friends. And then she was just like, she
Oh
was just one
shit!
day she pulled the "my friend likes you" type thing, and went on with that
Dude.
for a couple of days. But it wasn't her friend; it was her. So she
Yeah.
eventually told me that, and I was just like, no.
She was fishing to see if you like girls or not.
She just, mm, I don't know. I don't know. It was just nuts, and then it was a little, and then it was awkward, and
I mean, you didn't get no relationships in there or anything. I didn't. You weren't in there for too long, were you?
it was long enough.
Oh
uh,
damn.
oh my
Okay.
god, I'm sorry, mom. So
I can
sorry.
edit this out. We ain't gotta put that in there. I can edit it out. We ain't gotta put that in there. Well, I'll reverse. I'll ask a different question. Uh,
No, okay. I don't care. I'm an open book. Um I was close with one person, and I'm still close with her now. We're not together or anything, but she has
Oh.
a long sentence, and that's not gonna work because she's gonna be gone for a long time. But uh, there was a lot that tried it. I got close with one person, and she's my friend. I want to be there for her as a person, but she's not coming home for a long time.
What would
So
you say is the percentage of women actually getting in relationships in prison, if you were to guess?
a lot, like um, uh, I don't know. I mean, I would say a lot get in relationships later on, when they're there a little longer than what I was. But I mean, it was well over half as far as what I could see.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, and I held off for a really long time. Like it didn't even really, I didn't come there for that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but some people are just about that life right off the jump, and I guess a lot of people have been there before, and they just are used to this. This is how it works. But it's like nothing. It's like that's just how it goes. That's just what you do, and no one thinks anything of it. No one.
Yeah.
It's just that's just what you do.
I mean, was there girls actually like putting pressure on them like, "Hey, you're going to be my girlfriend" type of stuff? Have you seen
I
anything like that happen?
No, I mean, a friend of mine was telling me that there was a girl sort of acting like that with her in her pod. Me and her worked together, so I would talk to her at work, and we were actually in county together as well. So when she showed up, we would move over towards each other at work and catch up or whatever. And she said that there was a girl in her pod that was like joking about it at first, and she just kind of joked back, and then she started telling other people like that's my chick or whatever. And she was like, what do I do, what do I do? She was an older lady, she's probably 45, and she just did not see that coming. And I'm like, don't. I'm like, she wants something from you. She hadn't been there yet, and I'd been there for a minute, and I'm like, trust me, some of these people are gonna buddy up to you, la la la, because they want, not because they're gonna intimidate you out of it, because they want to create this relationship just so that you'll feed them when you're eating, or you'll make phone calls for them, stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
was like, just shut it down quick, shut it down. Don't piss her off if she's a weirdo, I don't know. But
Yeah.
you have to assert yourself. You have to,
Oh,
or else you're stuck doing it. If you do it once, then it's even harder.
yeah. I strongly believe in that rule when it comes to a whole bunch of different aspects in life.
Right.
Uh, all right. Well, this is Texas. There's a lot of, I wouldn't say gangs too much. I mean, from what I've heard from like the men's side of prisons, it's not so much gangs. It's more about like areas. Is it like that in women's prison? I mean, would you say they hang out with each other based upon areas, or is there actually gangs in there?
um I think there might be at the longer term units, but even there, not to the degree, not anything like it is in the men's units.
Yeah.
um I didn't see very much separation at all. um as far as like groups staying to themselves, a little bit, but it's just people you were friends with. But it's not like I wouldn't go sit down at a table full of people of another race. I did that on a daily basis, and
Okay. Okay.
playing cards. We don't have cards in Texas. So
Oh, so it's like that in the women's side too.
oh yeah, it's a Texas thing.
Ah,
We didn't have
the,
cards, we didn't have hot pots. um
what the hell? Don't they know it's called Texas Hold'em for a reason? Give them some cards out there.
I mean,
Jesus.
we made cards,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
allegedly, but but we didn't have real cards. But point being, you could walk up and play a card game, and nobody thought anything about that. But I know it's not quite like that in the men's units. My ex-husband he did 2 years in a men's, and he's told me about it. I know a little bit just about his experience, but it was different for him,
Yeah.
you know. So I was kind of prepared for that when I got there a little bit, you know, looking for it, but it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
People
What was it?
had their opinions. Some people, you know, there's some in every bunch, I guess, but people do kind of rep their area, like San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, Houston, Dallas, or you know, we're
Yeah.
fighting over the football game or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was always, you know, a fun thing. It wasn't like it was never a fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh, what's some popular card games that you've seen that you had to learn or didn't know about until you got
Spades.
in there? Spades, huh?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, look, let me ask you now. This is a piece of advice I've given to my viewers. I said one of the first things you should, if you're out in bond and you're about to go lock up for some time, one thing that you should definitely learn before going in is spades. Would you
Hmm.
agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would have had a lot. I would have had a lot more occupied time had I known how to play spades. But I did not.
Exactly.
I didn't learn until you know 3 weeks before I left.
And it's a
And
great a window to meet people, you know, at the same time. That's why I
right,
tell people it's a great icebreaker if you know how to play these games. And if you come in there, you know how to play spades, pinochle, and some prison poker or something, they're gonna be like, shit.
right,
They done did a bid before. There ain't no way
yeah,
they know all these card
right,
games. They ain't never been locked up. So that might save your ass right there off the break. So
yeah. They knew
learn
I was
card
brand
games.
new.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I did not.
If you don't know spades and you're coming in jail first time, don't know spades, chances are 99% you ain't never been locked up in your life. So that's a good piece of advice for people out there. Okay, so you're in this prison. If you were to give probably your wildest moment or a story that you could give to people about women's side of lockup to deter them from going, what do you think that would be?
Oh, to deter you. That's easy. Okay. Wild stories I got. I'm gonna save those from my channel.
Yeah, save them for. Oh yeah, got a chance. We'll talk about that after you answer that question. I forgot about that.
I gotta prepare mom. I gotta keep mom off my channel.
Oh, not mom. Mom, what's up?
Oh, can't do it.
We've been saying hi to moms over here this week a lot lately with the
Man.
guests.
Oh, mom, I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so she doesn't care. She's just so happy I'm sober.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank God for that. Thank God for that.
yeah, I'll have a year on Sunday.
Excellent. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. Um, Deterring. Oh my God. Stories for days. Intake day. Oh my God. Most humiliating day of your life ever. Horrible. Girls are crying. Girls are on the floor, refusing to get undressed. Oh
Oh, they make everyone strip down, correct?
my God.
And some
And
girls are scared to do it.
I mean, I think these girls are terrified just because of the whole situation.
Yeah.
It's very nerve wracking to get when you get there. And I just kind of felt like I was watching, you know, the shit show. You just kind of remove yourself. I wasn't like traumatized, afraid, but I had been in this tank with these girls overnight. County kept us all in a tank together overnight from the night before that we're going to pull chain the next day to go to the unit. So, you know, 2/3 of these women had done this before. So we all know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And I assume the girl, you know, similar situations happen from other counties that they don't you ask like what's going to happen when we get there, you know, one person, don't you ask one other person at least, like, have you been here before, what's going to happen? But I guess not everyone does that. Some people are really shy, they don't want to talk to anybody. Some people come in on a one person chain and there wasn't anyone coming in with them. But I got lucky. Harris County was the first chain to show up that morning. And you get off the bus, the Bluebird, you get off the Bluebird and we
Oh,
stood outside
Bluebird, I
for an
heard about
hour.
that.
Ugh. You stand outside for an hour in the heat, get all nice and disgusting. And then as soon as you walk in the first door that you come in, you line up on the wall and get butt naked. So, and that's a whole traumatizing ordeal. There was 15 of us. It was a pretty big chain from what I saw. But when you get done with that and you shower and you get done with that and you get dressed, you go in these dog cages that are inside, and it's just maybe from one end of the building to the other, there's probably 6 big cages that's just chain link and razor wire at the top. When they're done, you go sit in that first dog cage, and they fill them up throughout that day. The next chain that comes in, they strip, they search, they shower, get dressed, and go in the next dog cage. So as the day goes on, that room fills up with a couple hundred people. So you're sitting there watching this wall where the next chain has to come in and get butt naked. So every other chain that came in after us has an audience, right?
Oh shit.
Not just the guards and like the 4 girls that work in intake, but everyone that's come from counties all over Texas that whole day. And you can come in on a chain, one girl.
They got
Like,
girls hollering at them and shit when they're getting naked.
No, because that happens later. But this in there,
A little more controlled.
You'll get in trouble. You can't even speak, right? And they're trying to terrify everyone. They're putting on a show. The guard, she's a ginormous asshole. Sorry. But I was like, watch, this lady that has this job is going to be, and she was. But she's trying to scare everyone. She's trying to intimidate everyone, and it's working, right? And then you're just traumatized because you had to get naked and flashlighted and all that. So everybody's pretty chill once they get to,
Flashlighted? What's that?
I mean, they're checking you with flashlights up in there.
Oh!
Yeah.
They put
So
a
I'll go
flashlight.
back to that, but like my point was, like, I had it easy because we came in first. So I'm up there on the wall with 15 girls. You know, everyone, no one's looking at you except that guard. Everybody's pretty much worried about themselves, and you're focused on following her very detailed, screaming instructions that she's telling you to do while you're butt naked. So the most memorable part of that is where you have to stand up, you have to lift your fingers, they look in your fingers, your toes, behind your ears. I'm sure they do the same with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
A whole ordeal going through our hair, inside your mouth, all that. But they tell us to get 2 feet away from the wall with our feet, and then put our shoulders on the wall, lean back and put your shoulders on the wall, but not your butt, right? So your stuff is all forward, and you have to lean your shoulders back.
And it like causes it to open a little bit or something.
Oh, you gotta use your hands and get it open.
What?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I thought they had like little seats they sit you in or something like that, like X-ray machines. I didn't know they literally get there with a freaking flashlight.
Yep. One by one by one. One lady.
Can you imagine having that job there?
That's what I said. That's what I said. I was
hey, look, I'm a guy, and I'm still saying that's a horrible ass job.
Right. I'm like, I have to get through this for 20 minutes. This lady does this all day long. And there's some messed up stuff coming in.
I can only imagine.
So there's a girl standing there with tissues and paper sacks. Because the girls that are coming in that have some problems,
yeah,
there's a person there that hands you tissue so you can take care of your issue so she can still get up in there.
Wow, my God.
You have to turn around backwards and touch your toes and do the same thing. And mind you, this lady is screaming at you the whole time. And if you speak, if you laugh, if you cry, you draw attention to yourself. And she will go in on you. Old people, Did
they make y'all Wait, say what?
A lady peed on the ground. And
I was thinking about that too. I'm sure they probably done that a few times.
Yeah. Because she was just stressing out. But I was thinking too about the workers, like the workers that are in there cleaning that up and like handing out tissues and stuff. They are inmates. And I'm like, man, what do you got to do to get this job? I don't want this job,
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this punishment? Like, ew.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, they're really nice for having this job. I wonder if the guard is, kind of a witch to them too. Well, then come to find out, we sat in there all day. We had to go sit in that dog cage and watch all the other chains come in. So at the end of their shift, they have to stand in the same spot and strip butt naked and do the whole squat and cup and all that stuff too, the workers, every day before they leave to make sure they don't have contraband.
Yeah.
So, they're nice and kind when we're doing it because they're about to have to get butt naked in front of us too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So it's just, that's a deterrent right there. You don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah, that is definitely something that takes some getting used to. You know, did you ever have guys in the? I know there's a lot of people in there. Was there men COs in the area or anywhere close to
Um,
you during times of shakedowns like these?
no, not in that building. I don't think they're in that building when that's going on. Um, there's some female officers that are very much like men.
Well, damn, that's crazy. I can only imagine how the women's side of things is. I've watched it on TV, but I think that can only do it but so much justice.
No air conditioning. That's a good deterrent in Texas.
There you go. One of the first prisons I was in didn't have no central AC, and that alone will definitely keep your ass away from prison.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. Well, you said something about YouTube.
Mhm.
What you got planned for YouTube? You got something going on? You about to do a channel or something? What's going on?
I mean, I have, had some plans for years, I guess, and just because I knew that my story was crazy before prison, and I didn't know that I was going to prison, obviously, so I wasn't planning on a prison channel, but I was hoping for a recovery channel about,
Hmm.
my past experience, but I never could get clean until I went to prison. So prison was a blessing for me. It's the only way, so far that I've been able to get sober, and it's what I needed. I'm glad that it worked out the way that it did because I had to be completely removed. And I have a chance. I have an opportunity to hold on to that time, the clean time that I have. And so I have a lot of plans for that. So I hope to do, I mean, I got lots of stories. I got stories for days from prison and from the mess prior to that.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, I mean, all of it, been through it all. But so I thought about that, but now there's prison stories on top of it, and hopefully, a recovery story, because
Yeah,
that's, if I can show someone that they can get out of the mess that I was in, that's something I did not think was possible for a long time. I didn't have an example of that, and that kept me from being hopeful that that was possible. So now I've been in recovery community for a couple years, so I have seen that in other women. So I know that it was possible. But for me, and hopefully not most people, don't have to go to prison to get it done. But, and if I can tell you some stories to encourage you as to why that's not the best route,
yeah.
great. But hopefully, yeah, stories about the past, but stories about now too, how bad it got, but how good it can be. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That makes sense.
And there's a lot of prison channels popping up now. There's actually quite a bit of females doing it as well as men, and recovery channels. But I believe if you're doing it for real, the right way, you're actually about that what you're saying.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter how many channels there are because
Right.
regardless, it's helping people. So don't ever be worried about if there's too many of that out there already. Don't let that
Yeah.
stop you. You're your own person. You got your own story, and people will like you and not the next person. So
Yeah.
don't let that hinder you in any way. And you don't have it up and running yet, ladies and gentlemen. But when she does, I'm gonna try to bring her back on here, and I'll make sure to link everything in both videos for y'all to go check her out.
For
But
sure.
how long have you been clean so far? You said
I'll have a year on Sunday, this on May 31st,
that's excellent. I mean,
which is
is
all for
it?
my birthday. My mom called the cops on me. Thanks, Mom. The day before my birthday.
Oh
So,
God,
but it worked out because that's my
Mom!
clean day.
Damn it, Mom!
I
Yeah.
know. I was like, "Are you serious?" She rolled up in the driveway, and I'm walking out the door, and there was two cop cars behind her.
Oh my God.
And then she
Well,
freaks out, starts crying. I'm like, "You knew what was gonna happen, right?"
yeah, it always hurts. So she's just happy. She,
And she was so sorry, and I was like, I mean, the first day that I could call her, and I was dying from from medical in county, and I was like telling her, it's okay, it's okay, it's over now, it's over now. You know, don't be mad. Don't think I'm mad at you. Don't be upset. She was, of course, terrified for me to be in jail and for me to be going to prison, because I was telling her that was going to happen as well. But I was trying to tell her that I was the safest I'd been in 17 years. And of course, that just made her cry more. But I was trying to make her understand that now wasn't the time to be sad. And now is the time to be, you know,
Yeah.
be relieved, because
Saved
I
your
know
life.
it's over. Right. For
Yeah.
sure.
That is what I was gonna ask you too. Now that you kind of brought it up, one more question before we leave. But was there any of that in the prisons? Did you see any dope flying around? You know, in men's prisons, it's out there. You know, quite a
It
bit.
it was, but you know, in county for sure, a lot. I
Really?
saw, yeah, and you know, I told you I had gotten arrested that time prior,
Yeah.
and they searched us then, and they did put us through the detector, you know, the full body X-ray thing. Well, now 5 years later, so much was different. That whole medical process was different. The intake process was completely different. The way we were treated in general was totally different. They were not aggressive like they were. They didn't have those strap down chairs anymore. There was so many things that were different. I noticed they did not search me when I came in. They put me in a stall by myself and gave me clothes, told me to change. So I took my clothes off and waited for her to search me. And when she came back, she was like, get dressed. She didn't search any of us. So I don't know if that was how it was supposed to go, but the room that we were all in prior to that, where everybody was just in one room, everybody had to strip, turn around, cough, all that in county, that room wasn't even there anymore. So this was a whole different process. And I don't know if she just wasn't doing her job or if that's just how they do it. But understandably, there was a bunch of drugs in the jail. So I saw it then, didn't partake of any of that. But then at the unit, not really. I heard about it a little bit, but I never saw anything, not even cigarettes, no smoking. But I'm telling you, they're thorough. They're thorough. If it's coming in, it's coming from a guard, because, you know, they're flashlighting us when we get in. It'd be very
Yeah.
difficult to bring something in. But I'll tell you this, I went to a TDCJ halfway house for a month when I left, which I've been here from there for about 2 weeks. And that place was overrun. And it really surprised me. They told me that some of the inmates, you know, told me that it would be like that. But I thought, you know, it's exaggeration, inmate.com, la, la, la. And then I got there and I was like, what is happening? Because a guy died the second day that I was there. EMTs were there every single day. Girls are dropping needles in the stalls next to you on the floor. It was insane. Everyone. And I was just like, this is nuts. I asked a parole officer, I was like, y'all don't have dogs here? Like, is this how this works? Like, is it just if you fail a drug test, you get a violation and, you know, they'll deal with it down the line? And they really didn't answer me, because I was just like, I literally watched a girl for 3 nights in a row to make sure she kept breathing. And because it was the middle of the night, you know, it's dark. And I thought she was going to stop breathing. And I didn't know what to do. And so that really shocked me. So it was just like, it was prison. It was all the same people that just got out of prison, but it
Going
was like
right into
prison.
dope.
It was prison with drugs and men and cell phones. You know, you couldn't leave, and they had count time, but it wasn't guards, and it wasn't, you know, they
Yeah.
came in there to count and they got out, and people were leaving in and out for work. So they brought in whatever they wanted, and it was crazy. I just felt like it was setting people up for failure.
Yeah.
And so that surprised me. But I learned there too that I could have it in front of my face and not do it.
Yeah. Now that's that real test. You know, a lot of people, they'll stay
Sure.
away from it. They'll be good. It's because they ain't around it.
Right.
Slap someone with it around you. Then let's
Yeah.
see if you can say no to that shit.